morning, and welcome to our 18th century dress update, sponsored by my friend Emma Elizabeth, who is a member of the Northwest Colonial Reenactors and also 18th Century Sewing Circle. This is an effort to describe various outfits that might be worn in the fall to events such as parades or Wreaths Across America, or attending maybe an outdoor event such as on board a sailing ship, 18th century sailing ship. They also start early in the spring, so this is an early season dress-up day outfit as well. What I have today are a few items that would go with the outfit, as well as a description of the items that I am wearing. So in going outdoors, things that you need, extras, little things you need, might be a pair of gloves. So I have two pairs of gloves here. One is a very fine white kid pair of riding gloves, and the other is a heavier weight pair of black gloves. Now, depending on how dirty your event is, whether you're actually riding a horse or whether you're waving to the crowd, this might be the pair of gloves, or this might be easier to get on and off and doing things that you might have to do while you're riding. I also am wearing a hat that I have made. This is a particular style of hat that is popular at the time. One side is cocked up and the other side is left down. So this side has a little decoration on it, plus a few ostrich feathers decorate the hat too. It's trimmed with gold braid and wool braid, through which I have threaded a wire to hold it in place. Now, on the inside of the hat, I have sewn in a few combs. Now, people have told me that during a parade or in an outdoor event, it's very hard to keep your cap in place or even your hat in place. So these combs tuck into my hair, and I can also thread little clips through pins that I have stuck in the brim. So there's the hat, and this hat is also a copy of a hat that I used for inspiration for this particular outfit. This is the Countess of Effingham, shown with a rather large hat and with a beige tan colored riding habit. I've patterned this riding habit after the one she is wearing. The original pattern came from Mill Farm. This is the Mill Farm riding habit pattern. It comes with the jacket and the petticoat and the waistcoat underneath, the sleeveless waistcoat. So what I have for the jacket is made out of wool broadcloth from Burnley and Trowbridge, $30 a yard. That gets you very nice broadcloth. It's not quite as tightly woven as maybe the broadcloths of the 18th century, so you do have to be a little careful with the cut edges. Now, broadcloth old broadcloth can be cut just straight. It does not have to be hemmed. But this broadcloth, in order to avoid any fraying of the edges, it's typical to have the edges trimmed. So I have trimmed them in a wool braid that I've gotten from one of our colonial reenactor suppliers. I've trimmed the pockets in wool braid, and I have kept them from fraying that way. The other adornment on the jacket are the buttons. Now it has quite a number of buttons. The buttons are one of the more expensive little treats. These are from Blue Cat Button Works, who specializes in historic buttons, and I communicated with them to ask which buttons would be the best for an 18th century upper class women's riding habit. And I'm very happy with these buttons. So everything on this jacket is tried to be period correct. I have restyled the sleeve just a bit for a slightly later version of the Mill Farm pattern, as well as the stand-up collar. I wanted a stand-up collar that would protect the back of my neck from the winds in the parade, since I'm not wearing a heavy scarf. So what I have underneath the jacket is certainly the petticoat, which is also the same wool broadcloth in a nice red, and I do have to attend a bit to the trim. You don't put the extra ribbon braid on the bottom of the petticoat, but I do get just slightest little bit of fraying on the edge, and so I just take away the little rough bits after each time I wear it. It doesn't affect it anyway in the performance. Now, the waistcoat is sleeveless, and it comes to fit nicely under the jacket and allows the lining of the jacket, which is linen, to move carefully and smoothly against all your underlayers. Now, it has covered buttons and it is lined with cream silk satin. I've made this little extra ruffle piece in the neck to fill in a space that normally is problematic if you're not wearing a scarf of some sort, like a neckerchief, a silk neckerchief. And it covers up the collar underneath of my riding shirt. Instead of showing my riding shirt that I'm now wearing, here is a riding shirt that has been made long enough to also be shift length. And the top of it is patterned after a man's shirt, so that the neck just ties in the center. This is a rather fine linen, nice and soft. It's all handmade, and the sleeve ends in a ruffle with a little trim on it. It's very comfortable to wear underneath all your layers. I also would like to recommend that even though a riding habit might not, it might not be obvious that you should wear stays under a riding habit, it does make a difference in how the jacket fits. If you fit the jacket with stays, you probably should wear the stays when you're wearing the jacket. Also, the petticoat weighs 2.5 pounds. And it cuts into your waist when you don't have something to pin it to or to support its weight. So I always pin them in the center front at least to keep them from sliding down and digging in. So now to the shoes department. I don't know if you can see these shoes. These are the same shoes that I was wearing in the last video. They are a very heavy-duty leather men's walking shoe, which I had custom made for me. I tie them with bows so that I can adjust them for the socks. And for parades, they're great. If you're out in a wet field, if you're in an event where it's raining hard, I might then consider wearing a pair of riding boots. These are tall. I've had them for years. They look very parade correct, and they protect my feet even more and higher up than do just a pair of lower shoes. I've gotten them in sizes big enough to layer heavier socks. So wool socks are the best, and you can have layers of wool socks. So that is pretty much my presentation for my riding habit. And I thank you for watching, and I hope there are fall events that you too can enjoy. And attend us again for our November Daughters of Liberty 18th Century Dress Up Day. Thank you very much.